Hello, today we're going to be going into my book haul. I have accumulated a lot of books. This whole year I haven't done a book haul yet. The last one I did was my Christmas haul, so this is all brand new books that I've never talked about, and it's just been piling up and I've been meaning to do this video, but I just haven't for whatever reason. So I have 16 books to show you guys. My name is Andrea. If you are new here, you should subscribe, like, comment, all that. Stick around, it's a good time. But let's just jump into these books because there is a lot. First book we're going to talk about is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This one came out in January. I have read it. I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This is Holly Black's kind of sequel series to The Cruel Prince, which is the Folk of the Air trilogy. And in this one we're following Oak and Surin. Oak is the little brother of the main character Jude from The Cruel Prince, so we are continuing in the same world. We do get to see some familiar characters. We've already met Oak, we've already met Surin, and we do see a lot of new ones as well, and get to check up on how Elfhame is doing and all the plots that's going on and all the great malicious things going on in Fairy. I did read this. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars. The more I think about it, I know I gave it 5 stars because I loved Surin. She is blue. She has sharp teeth. She is amazing. She has a tragic past, and I love a character with a tragic past. I just do. I root for them. I feel for them. I love them. I will be getting the white cover, so the original version, but I wanted to make sure I got this before it sold out, so I bought this one first, and this is the one I read, and I just haven't got my hands on the regular one yet. Next, I picked up this book, which is Rise Up from the Embers by Sarah Rosh and Kristen Simmons. This is the second book following Set Fire to the Gods by the same authors, and that is the completion of the duology. I did read this one. I really enjoyed it as well. Set Fire to the Gods is an older YA fantasy, but it's really, really good. I definitely recommend if you're looking for something like that. It follows these two opposing gladiator warriors that have to enter in this arena and fight, and they're fighting for their own cities, which are ruled by different gods, and all of the gods are siblings, but they've separated into kind of like their own territories, and each god has a different elemental power. And so some people are born with Energeia, which is like the elemental powers, and our two characters that we have are Ash and Matic. Ash does have Energeia, and Matic has a peculiar use of Energeia himself. So not going to go into too much detail because that would be kind of spoiling, but I love the series so much. It is definitely a YA fantasy with romance, so I love it. I kind of like tabbed a lot. As you can see, it's not tabbing, I just kind of like fold into the pages. I do that when I don't want to actually fully tab something. I just want to mark pages that I liked, and I maybe go back and highlight, and I think I did underline and highlight a lot in here, but maybe one day I'll actually go in and put the tabs, but sometimes you don't got time for all that. I also picked up Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaires series. I think there's only 3 books. As you'll see, this haul is kind of all over the place because I've been diving into a lot of different kind of books, mostly fantasy, but the occasional romance I will indulge myself in. And I surprisingly liked the first book, which is called The Fine Print, and basically like it's about 3 brothers. So the first one went over like the youngest brother, the second one's gonna go over the middle brother, the third one is over the oldest brother, and they've all inherited their grandfather's wealth, and they own this company Dreamland, which is essentially Disney World, but in this world it's Dreamland. That's really interesting, and so they're also like super rich, and they have different romances. It's surprising to me that I liked it because I am very hit or miss with romances, especially the ones that I find on TikTok, because that's where I found this one. But I did like it. I like the first one, and I'm going to pick up the second one. They're easy to get into, they are thick, so there's like a good amount of build up, but they also don't drag, so definitely recommend. Sometime a few months ago, I don't remember when I bought each of these, but I did get this one, Master of Iron by Trisha Levenseller. This is the sequel to Blade of Secrets, which is also a YA fantasy duology. I have been wanting to get to this one for a long time, and I think I just went to the bookstore and I knew I needed it, so I picked it up, and I'm surprised that I already did read it, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It was a good way to wrap up that series, and if you've never tried Trisha Levenseller, this is your sign. give her a shot because she's definitely an underrated author, and by that I mean she's not as famous and she's not as talked about, but she is really brilliant. I really do love Trisha Levenseller, and I say all of her books so far have been a hit for me. I know my friend also loves Trisha, but she didn't like The Shadows Between Us, but I love that book, so I think all of her books have been amazing. Her writing style is just effortless and perfect. I'm so invested in her worlds and her characters. So you should read it. I'm so like thirsty and tired from work today, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of off a little bit, but I'm gonna get through these. Okay, next I got Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This book is huge. I did read it. I did a whole vlog on it, and I mentioned it in my wrap up for February. If you want to go check out more of my thoughts and all that, I do have a lot of videos where I went into detail, a little bit of detail on these books. But I have 2 copies because I wanted to be able to display both sides of the dust jacket. So this is the outside, this is the inside. I just flipped it like this. In my vlog that I have, I did get this signed by Cassie. I went to the Chain of Thorns tour. OMG, I could not remember. So I got it signed right there, and I got this one signed as well, but this one doesn't have my name because we didn't actually get to go into a signing line, but I wanted one of them to say for Andrea and I wanted the other to say for Jem Carstairs #1 fan, but I don't know what happened. I guess she only picked the one that had my name. Oh, more recently I picked up this one. Like, I just bought it last week when I went to Target, but it's Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. I have read all of the Get a Life Chloe Brown trilogy, and I just finished last month Act Your Age Eve Brown, and I think that's why I wanted to pick this one up, because I loved Act Your Age Eve Brown. It was so good. I gave it 5 stars, best one in that trilogy, I think. But I do really enjoy Talia Hibbert's romances as well, so she's kind of become an auto buy for me. I haven't went back and read her backlist before Get a Life Chloe Brown, but I kind of want to. Chloe Brown was kind of my least favorite, so maybe I wouldn't like her backlist, but I think now I'm liking how her style is evolving, and I do like her books, and this one is so short. What's also really cool about this book is it is her first, I believe, her first young adult romance. So it is for teens, except for teens. I wouldn't say Get a Life Chloe Brown and all those. Those are definitely filled with smut, spicy books, not for teens, but these are, or this one is. And it follows Celine and Bradley, who are in high school. Bradley is, you know, the classic popular jock who plays football, and Celine is a conspiracy theory obsessed girl, and I vibe with that. I love that so much. I love that that's just a little quirk about this main character. And so both of them end up going on a trip in the woods, like a wilderness trip, and end up having to work together while they're there to win some sort of competition. And I like camping. I go camping every summer with my family. It's been a tradition, like with all my family, like all my aunts and uncles, all my cousins, we all load up and go, and there's literally like 40 of us in a whole campsite, so it's really fun, and I love camping. So hopefully that'll be, you know, a little bit of a bigger part of the book. If it's not, I'm sure I'll still like it, but I'm interested to see how this plays out and how it is, especially for a YA romance, but I'm into that too. Definitely once I read it, I'll put it in my wrap up and I will let y'all know how it is. Real quick, I want to show some ARCs that I received. So I didn't actually buy these, but these were given to me from Penguin Teen. First one is Viva Lola Espinosa by Ella Ciron. This one is about Lola, who goes to spend the summer in Mexico City, and there she meets a guy and also learns about some of her family's past, and it seems really intriguing. I'm excited. It's by a Mexican author. Love that. So gonna be getting to that. Will let y'all know if I like all of these, which I'm sure I will, because these all seem really interesting. But then I got Lying in the Deep by Diana Urban. This one takes place on a boat, and it's kind of like a murder mystery, which I think is really cool. Comes out in May. And then I got 40 Words for Love by Aisha Saeed, and I've been wanting this because I've been seeing this cover and it's so pretty, and I knew I was gonna pick it up, and I was so happy when they reached out and asked if I wanted a physical ARC, because a lot of mine are online ARCs, but this one I was so excited to get an actual copy. This one is a young adult novel. It follows 2 teens that grow closer together after a big tragedy hits both of their lives. I eat books like that up, okay? That is right up my alley. I also got Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. This one says a love hate love story. It's more fiction than romance, and it's also a book that the like storyline follows a large span of time, like 15 years. I think it's a second chance encounter, maybe a second chance romance, I don't know, but I'm excited to dive into it and be able to like follow from the beginning of their story to where they are when we actually get to the point in this book. I also got the Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This one seems really good. It's blurred by S.A. Chakraborty, who wrote the David Bad trilogy, and I'm here for that. I trust her recommendation. Basically in this one, the main character is looking for a lost artifact, and she has to do that with the help of the Sultan's prince, or the Sultan's son, who is the prince. And she also has a Jinn bodyguard, who I feel like this is almost going to be like, there's gonna be some romance, but who? Which one? I have no idea. I think it's also gonna maybe be like found family. I could see that happening as well. But the way the synopsis is set up, it just seems like there's gonna be a lot more to those side characters. I also got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one I've been hearing about so much. It's an adult science fiction, and I cannot wait to read it because I've been eyeing this one for a long time. I'm so excited to have it in my hands right now. Everybody that I've talked to has said this is amazing, so I'm gonna find out for myself. And like I said, I cannot wait to read it. It's probably gonna be one I pick up really soon. I also got Bladebreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is the second book following Realmbreaker. That is her young adult fantasy. My camera died. The way that this door is open is like freaking me out. I don't know if that was creeping me out. But anyway, I only had 3 more books to talk about, so I'm not gonna wait for my camera to finish charging. I am just gonna talk about them on my phone. I'm so sorry. But Bladebreaker, oh god. Okay, get it together, Andrew. It's an epic fantasy. It has found family in it as well. I really enjoyed Realmbreaker. These are thick books, but it's a really good fantasy, so if you're into world building, it has a lot of world building to dive into. The characters are also pretty interesting. It's definitely a book that focuses more on the characters, the plot, the world building than it does on romance or a lot of more interpersonal drama. It does have that a little bit, but I feel like in this one we're going to dive more into the characters' relations than we did in the first one. The first one just sets up a lot for the world, and I really enjoyed it, so I will be reading Bladebreaker. Second to last, I got These Infinite Threads by Tahereh Mafi. This is the second book following This Woven Kingdom, which is Tahereh Mafi's new young adult fantasy. She is back, and this book, I haven't got to talk about it on my channel, but it is so freaking good. Okay, the way we leave off in This Woven Kingdom and the way this one picks up, not even right after, it picks up like 5 minutes before in another character's point of view where we ended in that one, which just hurt. Like, she didn't have to do that. I already knew this character was in pain, and then I got to see it in his perspective. Okay, go off. And then the new character that's introduced in this book that we really get to meet, Tahereh, what are you doing? Is this Warner 2.0? I didn't expect it. She's pulling out the plot twist. I don't know why I doubted her. I don't know why any of us doubted Tahereh Mafi, because she's here, she's bringing it, she's not gonna let us down with her young adult fantasies. I was blown away. I loved it more than This Woven Kingdom, and it's crazy. I feel like it's one of those books where it's kind of like, okay, this is the only way people would probably understand it. It's kind of like ACOTAR. First book, we're going one way, and then the second book, you get to know another character, which you met in the first book, but then the second book, there's more to it. That's how it is. There's a character that we meet in the first book, and then we actually meet them. Like, what is going on? I loved it, and I feel like this is gonna be a really long series. I feel like she's just gonna keep going and going, like Shatter Me, because this book, this entire book, took place in 2 days. 2 days. Only right after the first book ended, we've only gotten 2 more days ahead. So if we're going 2 days per book and we're getting 1 book per year, to get anywhere in time, we're gonna need like 10 years to get through this story, because there's a lot left, I feel like, to be said and to be done, and a lot more story to be told. I don't know if this is a trilogy, but I personally think it's gonna be like really long. So there's that. You don't know how much I hate that I have to film on my camera, on my phone now. I Bought this camera, so happy, and it's always dying because I don't charge it, and I don't know why I do this to myself. I make myself so mad. But okay, last book, I got All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir in paperback with her stickers where she got her book awards. Love that for Sabaa, she definitely deserves it. But All My Rage is about Noor and Salahuddin. I do have a video where I review the entire book if you want to check that out. I love them so much. I just happened to see that Sabaa Tahir was coming to Texas. Went to see her. Also vlogged it if you want to check that out too. But I love this book so much, and I really just felt like I needed to meet her. I wanted to just hear her talk about it a little bit more. We follow Noor and Salahuddin, who used to be really close, and then they kind of drifted apart, and we're learning throughout the book why. So we follow Noor's point of view and Salahuddin and another character named Misbah, who is an older woman, and you find out how she correlates to the whole story throughout the book. Both Noor and Salahuddin are struggling with a lot of things, and it's definitely a more sad book. So if you need to be in a mindset where you know it's going to be sad, just think about that. Look up trigger warnings, because there are quite a few, like drug abuse, physical abuse, things like that. There's heavy topics, sexual assault, a lot of terrible things go on, but it's also a book of hope and friendship and love and just being alive and strength, and I absolutely loved it. I think it's a book that comes once in a lifetime. I don't know if I'm ever going to feel the way I felt reading this again, but I think Sabaa Tahir is the person that could make me feel this way. I also got to meet her and talk to her, which was really amazing. I love Sabaa Tahir. I told her that I was writing a book and that I am a writer as well, and she was like, good luck on your writing. I was like, thank you so much. She read us some of her next series that's coming out. It sounded really good. It's a classic Sabaa Tahir fantasy. So yeah, a lot of fond memories with All My Rage. Really glad I got to meet her. Ollie! My dog scared me so bad. Okay, that's gonna be it for this video. Comment down below if you read any of these or what's the last book that you bought. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, they will all be linked down below, as well as some ways to help support the channel. But that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully with my camera battery charged.
But I know that, baby, I'm never on your mind, and it don't matter how hard we try.